Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Ravager Report podcast. I am your host, Dorian, and with me, as always, is the indomitable Hebrew Hammer. How you doing tonight, Hebrew?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Stark. It has been 7 hours, roughly, since Foxnex snapped their fingers and half their player base disappeared. So, I am not a happy camper. I am one of the affected Android users. And so I can't get into the game. I can't do anything. And it's Miss Marvel drop, and she's in my not my Punisher. She's in my Defender squad, and so I'm not happy.
I'm on the iOS side, so I am happy.
Yeah, that's why I called you Mr. Stark. So unfortunately, we do not have any new patrons to announce this week. But I wanted to say thank you to all those continuing patrons. We do appreciate your support. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. If you like what you hear and you would like to donate or become a patron, then feel free to go to patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have options going from $2 all the way up to $20. And we may be adding more. Who knows? We're just a couple of wild and crazy guys.
Damn straight.
So, before we get into like the big news of the week, Hebrew, what have you been up to?
Not too much. Getting ready for Christmas, actually. I know I'm one of those people that probably celebrates or starts getting ready way too early, especially since I'm Jewish. But I'm like half and half. So, but like we used to celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas, but the Hanukkah side of the family, Hanukkah is just not as fun, straight up. Like for me, at least, it was never quite as fun. So Christmas still reigns supreme in our house, it seems like. So yeah, and I love Christmas. I love the Christmas spirit. So getting pumped for that, doing some shopping already. And yeah, that's pretty much it outside of it. We did literally just earlier today before this podcast, Chewy and I just finished up a practice session on our D&D podcast, which we've mentioned before. So that's going to be super fun. It's coming out at the end of the year. We're going to start a new campaign. Dorian might be involved if he's a good boy. And
hey, I'll bring all the books.
We have all the books, but I mean more books.
I got the monster manual.
You actually probably have some. We definitely have the monster manual. But either way. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's very cool, very, very bloody, and very surprising. Anyways, so yeah, lots of fun. But that's pretty much it outside of the game. Nothing too special. But inside of the game, what's cool is that I can actually get in my game. So that's fun. And I got to do the Miss Marvel campaign a little bit, so I'm ahead of the game with that. And yeah, I've been farming Kree up, everything. Or we'll get into the farming stuff later, but yeah, going pretty hard. I went top 1500 on Iron Fist. I'm shooting for top 1500 on Nobu, but I don't remember what the dates were for Pyro's Blitz. We're going to be getting into that at some point, but yeah, so I'm kind of prepping for Pyro to come, so I want to make sure that I don't overlap with anything. But I am gonna probably get 1500 on Nobu too. So yeah, just trying to get my defenders up there. They're all T11, T12 right now, so I'm pretty happy with that. And that's about it for me. What about you?
Pretty much a lot of the same. Working through getting my defenders. I actually have I've got a couple I think with T11, but most are T10. Just the gear investment to go from T10 to T11 to T12 just isn't there for me. So it's hard for me to justify taking them up. So I've actually been working on Miss Marvel and Black Panther. So Miss Marvel has replaced Punisher entirely within raids, at least. So she's just absolutely amazing. And then I've been running a new Blitz squad, and I also got top 1500 for Iron Fist, my first time ever. I got like 2.9 million or something, almost 3. So I was pretty excited by that because that took my Iron Fist halfway to 5 stars.
Yeah, I had the same thing, and obviously it was the same for you, where you finally had the motivation to get off the couch and do Blitz.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I finally just decided to kind of push through and do it. And I realized that I've actually got like 4 or 5 solid teams that I can run at like 25,000 points per run.
Mhm.
So I was doing those multiple times, using up like I burnt through like every blitz refresh that I had, even the ones going into yesterday, because I usually save them for the climb. But I decided
Right.
to just go ahead and get as high as I could just to be safe. And so I don't, no regret, hashtag no regrets. Uh, our alliance is continuing to crush it. We're basically doing 60% Ultimus this time after time after time. So that's a thing now. We
Mhm.
are doing we are not able to 100% Deadpool, but we are obviously getting right there. That
Right.
global villain is just
Oh, I
nasty.
know. I
Uh,
know.
I did unlock Scientist Supreme this past week, and I'm honestly seriously debating building up an AIM squad just for shits and giggles.
I mean, I guess eventually it will pay off, but I wouldn't do it.
Hey, at some point, right? They've already
Yeah.
said they want every squad to do something, and so I'm like, but I've always been fascinated by what the AIM squad does. It's really cool how they just give themselves all negative effects, and then Scientist
If it
Supreme just
works,
goes,
you
nope.
like what the
If it
concept
worked,
is. Yeah.
if it
Okay.
worked, right? So
Yeah.
like her passive needs to be like a T7, 100% flip all buffs. But
Yeah.
the
The
we'll have to see
concept
about
behind
that.
them is the concept behind them is solid, but it does not work with the way everyone's kits are and speed and everything. It just falls apart immediately. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. But if you want to do it yourself, then eventually. That's kind of been your thing, though. You've been like the guy that levels up stuff, and eventually it pays off. So
Right.
maybe
Now
this
I
is your
didn't
stick.
do what our good buddy Chewy did and go all in on Kree early, but we knew they
Yeah,
were going to be for Fury. I
I
like to
should have done
take
that.
the teams
I
that
regret it.
nobody's thinking about
Yeah,
and then do it. So, yeah, I'm thinking I would do Hydra, but other than Crossbones, there's no real Hydra leader. At least with AIM, there's Scientist Supreme, so I feel like I'm running a real team. So,
yeah. You mean currently out? Yeah,
yeah, currently out. Currently out. I
yeah.
mean, obviously, I'm sure we'll get Red Skull at some point for Hydra, and I have a feeling that team will just be amazing. But that's at least 6 months out, I'm sure at this
I
point.
mean, I'm still
And that's
waiting on
pure
a.
speculation.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a hand rework now. It used to be like a good squad, and it still is. It's still good now, but now I don't know. I'm annoyed that this squad is not nearly as good as the other squads that we see coming out, and I don't see a rework happening for hand. So, yeah, especially since last time I talked to one of the developers, they had mentioned that they weren't looking at being reworked anyways. So as of right now, so yeah, I don't have my breath held for that one, but I really hope that happens eventually because I would like hand to be as strong as some of the other teams that we're seeing. Maybe not Fury level, but something along the lines of defenders, or maybe even something along the lines of defenders.
Yeah,
I think be fun.
And so and then I got my Yondu passive back, so I immediately turned around and dropped it into Miss Marvel, and brought her passive up to tier 5, and that kit is amazing because
that was for the 100%. Right?
That is 100% assist and 100% she gives an assist. So
yeah, if
Daredevil hits, she hits, and then when she hits, she calls either Daredevil or Iron Fist in. That I've actually built another Blitz team around that with Spider-Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, Black Panther, and Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
no tanks, that's just constant hits.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be particularly good, especially in a bit whenever they have a Okoye drop, because she's going to be very strong on a team with brawlers with Okoye and Black Panther. And she also fits into defenders really well, too. So, she's just a good character to bring up. And especially,
she is a really good character.
Yeah, too bad you can't get into your phone and farm it.
Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they're going to give something back for that. I bet.
Well, that depends. Hopefully.
That's
one thing I will say. That would be nice. I will one thing I will say is that Fox Next has been pretty good about their make rights.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They are pretty solid with their, hey, we messed up. Let's give you something. And
Yeah,
I
they
don't
might be
think
a
I've
little
ever really been
slow.
disappointed.
Yeah, they might be a little slow at starting to do it, but yeah, once they, especially to me, like customer service has always been ridiculously generous with me, so I really have no complaints in that department. But they seem to always right their wrongs on my end, at least. So
Yeah. Look, I haven't really had an issue with customer support until recently with the whole Yondu nonsense and the whole copy paste, and that just annoys me.
but that was just
And
like because they didn't
I
know
get it.
what was going
I
on yet.
used to do support. Right. I used to do support. I get
Hmm.
it. Sometimes you got to read from your scripts. You're not allowed to do things.
Yeah,
But, don't just say, oh, it's working as intended. We didn't change it, so we're not refunding. And it was just so
yeah,
I got annoyed by that. But they did right. They're refunding the passive. You have until November 14th, I believe, is the cutoff date. It was 14 days from when they announced it. So I think it was either the 14th or the 16th is the last day to request that passive. So if you're listening to this and you haven't done it, I at least do it to get the option and think about whether or not you want to put it back on Yondu. It's still a good ability. It's just not as powerful as it used to read.
yeah.
So that's pretty much been my week.
I would also say, let me just go ahead and say, I think that there's a lot of really good abilities out there for the T formats now with level 70 out.
Yeah.
If you don't use him a lot in your squads or you don't just love him, then I would say it would definitely be worth it to maybe put that elsewhere. But like for me, for instance, I didn't use a main on my squad. I use him for tons of things with the OG squad, so I kept mine on there. But I mean, there's lots of options now that can be more applicable to people, especially people that are running Fury, because you're not going to need it for him. You're going to want to put it into your Fury characters, so or at
absolutely.
least some of them. But anyways, yeah, my 2 cents there.
Yeah, believe it or not, I actually dropped him off one of my Blitz teams because they were just getting horrible. It was my OG Avengers with Yondu, so it was Cap, Black Widow, Iron Man, Quake, and Yondu, and they were just getting crushed. So I was just like, you know what? I'm pulling Yondu out of that squad, and I threw Hawkeye in. Sometimes I'll throw Thor in just for the Avengers synergy. So that's one of my 8.3 win teams.
Damn,
so.
mine still kills on everything, but I have them all at like T12 pretty much. So that's
yeah, you're much higher than what mine are. In fact, my Hawkeye is 6-star, but I've never really geared him up too much. I think he's sitting at 9 or 10 maybe. So yeah, that's been my thing. In real life, I haven't. It's been a work week readjusting to no longer being on the nightmare train, and my daughter's soccer finally finished up. She's got tryouts for a travel team tomorrow, so hoping that goes well. But
nice.
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow week, which is good up until today. So we're gonna kind of get into. I don't really have any data mine information for anybody, so I apologize for that. So we're gonna kind of skip over the data mine section, and we're gonna jump right into the news. So Miss Marvel's event is back. Maybe. I only say that being facetious as always, because I couldn't tell you if it really is back, as I can't get into the game Fox Next. But at least iOS users can get a head jump and actually be able to do the event and not lose anything. How is it? I mean, is it the full campaign event? Is it city?
Full campaign
I can't
event.
Remember. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's the full campaign. Oh, well, yeah. So it's the full campaign event. You get all the nodes and everything that you have to go through. It's just the way it was as far as what you've unlocked. So it's just basically, and I'm really glad that they did this, because we had this argument a while ago on if they were going to be bringing back these campaign nodes. This at least sets a good precedent for what's going to be happening in the future. Obviously, this is a 24-hour campaign event. I think that they're probably going to keep doing these, but I like the fact that they do, because I like the stories in them more than anything else. And I thought that it was a waste if they never brought them back again. And I know a lot of people were worried about that. We had a discussion with Casino, and back in Power Core, and Casino had told us that he did not think they were coming back because of the other game, Contest of Champions. They had a similar kind of thing, and they never brought them back. So I was really disappointed with that. But this is good because, luckily they are going to keep that. Not only am I glad that new people are going to get to experience these events and have a way to farm them, although it won't be nearly as efficiently as we did because we had so much more time, but at least there's something there. And for the veteran players, we also get a nice little 24-hour, you can farm it up pretty easily if you want to drop down those cores or anything like that. So yeah, gives us a nice little outlet to get Miss Marvel. So I'm excited about it. And I'm glad that they did it.
I'm not sure, somebody actually mentioned this in our chat too, not sure 24 hours is going to be enough to benefit from it.
Yeah,
so
I think
you're
that
going to be spending a lot of cores to really benefit from it.
I hope, and I think that they will extend the event or give a straight up, I don't even know if maybe they can make it specifically to Android players or not, but give like a straight up average amount of the fragments to them as a sorry, something like that. I'm sure that they will make it up in some way. And even if they don't, I bet that if you write in, I would bet money that if you write in to support, be very nice to them and, be like, hey, hope you're having a good day. Just want to let you know this is what happened. I wasn't able to get into my game. I missed out on a lot of the event. I mean, even if you get compensation, I would probably still write it in because you might double up. They've done that before.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure that you're going to get something though. They're good about keeping things, I want to say super fair, but they're good about giving you some kind of compensation whenever you are obviously wronged. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's my 2 cents on it. You know how I always know you're doing something? I was
reading Reddit.
Yeah,
I was reading Reddit.
I always know whenever you're not really paying attention because you always go, yeah, absolutely. Like every single time. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I was kind of talking in our chat room, and I asked some guys to take something private that really doesn't matter. You guys can talk about it in chat. So it's actually kind of cool. We're being broadcast live in a store right now. So that's actually kind of a cool thing. So
we are?
Yeah, we are. We are being broadcast live through a store. So Dorian just kind of got a little meh for a minute, and then I'm just like, meh, never mind. So it is. So Chewy asked what type of store it is. It is a dispensary in a legal state.
So it is a dispensary the best kind of store is the answer to that. Keep in mind,
sure.
I've never smoked in my life, but literally all of my friends do, and so I'm a big supporter of it.
Okay. Someday, privately, we're gonna have a long chat about the misadventures of my youth.
I already know, and I can guess. I know that this was in your past. All right, but we should probably skip past this part. So let's keep it rolling.
So we all expected an update earlier this week. We in fact, I would say we expected it. I would say Tuesday or Wednesday, the 6th or the 7th. Unfortunately, it never kept appearing until today. We got notification like 5 minutes before it happened. Our Foxmax contact was like, "Hey, server maintenance is coming," and we were like, "Can we share it?" They're like, 5 minutes, and I was like, "Okay." And then they're like, "Okay, game mail is in the game. You can share now." I'm like, "Well, what's the point of telling me early if I can't drop some clues or something?" But it was cool that I was like, "Oh, hey." This was cool. It was like, oh, hey, updates incoming today. And people are like, really? Proof? Huh?
Oh, God.
So I'm like, it's in game. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I got lost for a second. I got lost trying to figure out where I was at here.
All good.
So it dropped today, right? We got the update 2.1.
Yes.
And there was some actual really cool things that came out of this update. So there's actually 2 blog posts today. One talks about the patch notes, and the other one actually goes into some of the new things that they released. So a couple of things that they released was 2 brand new status effects. One, they're going to release a status effect called Immunity, which is unique to Juggernaut. which prevents new negative effects. What do you think of after reading about this?
So I think that this is, I mean, it's a good ability, especially for his kit. It works well with his kit. I think that it's, after reading it, it's very reminiscent of Thanos's taunt, just in the fact that it gives a, like it obviously one is immunity and the other one is a heightened level of resistance, but the effect is basically the same, where you're not going to have new negative status effects being put on you very easily. I mean, one is never, the other one is you're probably not ever going to get one off. So yeah, I mean, it's very similar. With this one, it can be, if you read a little bit more into it, you do find out that another thing is that this positive effect can be dispelled with abilities like Yondu's basic, and can also be flipped by Doctor Strange's Winds of Watum special. So in that way, it's actually kind of a little worse than Thanos's, because also you can still dispel his taunt, which removes the effect of his increased resistance, I believe.
Yeah, he gets plus 1,000 resistance.
Yeah, but whenever you remove the taunt, it also, because it's whenever he has the taunt. Yeah, okay.
Correct.
So, so in that case, it's only really like JJ and Hand Sentry that can consistently take it off. But so with this one, you can still remove the immunity. So it makes it more easily, at least, especially with more common characters, you can remove it. So it's a little worse in some ways, but it's also good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of, because it all depends on what his resistance is.
That's very true, but it's not going to be as high as Thanos with a taunt.
Thanos with a taunt's only 1,000 plus, so I want to say he sits right around 2,500 when he's maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
I could very well be wrong. I'm thinking of that completely from memory. So let me look that up while you continue talking about it.
Well, yeah. So anyways, that's, I think immunity, regardless of all of this, I was just making a comparison to Thanos' taunt, because we've kind of seen him something that's similar in this way, as far as basically you're just not going to be able to easily apply new effects. In this case, you're not going to have any chance unless you dispel it. But yeah, either way, it's a good ability. It works very well with his kit. That's the most important thing about him. And it just also sounds, it's immunity. It sounds cool, with especially coming off of Juggernaut. So,
Thanos maxed out, according to MSF.gg. Mm-hmm. Thanos maxed out has basically 1,300 resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So with his ability, he only gets to like 2,300. Now, obviously, that's going to be modified through things like Stark Tech and stuff. So
yeah,
that's always still.
I mean, that's very, very good though. I mean, like everyone's played against Thanos. Like, it's incredibly hard to get something off on him. Whenever you put it in practical terms, it's very hard to get something off. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Juggernaut's natural resistance is, because that will play a part as far as being able to dispel it. But yeah, either way, I like that they're introducing new status effects, and I'm glad that this is one of them, and I think it works really well with this kit. So
yep. And so the second status effect is Disrupted. And Disrupted is basically going to prevent additional status effects on an enemy. So that's your Fury Team killer right there. And that status effect is going to be applied only by Pyro and Magneto at this point. So that to me is that anti-Fury that anti-Fury ability right there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an incredibly good ability. I think it's something that is definitely needed, especially for meta teams like Defenders, and especially, obviously, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, Shield Team and Fury. Jesus. Because everyone that just surrounds themselves with positive effects, that's fantastic for. So, yeah. I think that shows. We were talking earlier, with Chewburger, and Juggernaut was kind of poised to be the big boy that could kind of stand out on his own a little bit outside of the Brotherhood group. And after seeing his kit, everything. He's a good character, but he's really going to shine inside more than anything else, as will Pyro. But Pyro, I think, is going to be far more useful outside of the Brotherhood team than Juggernaut will after looking at all of their kits. So yeah, this ability is really good, and it's really good against a lot of meta teams right now. So I think it's fantastic that they added this in. Once again, very nice to see them including more status effects. I want them to, especially from, even though I haven't played nearly as much as you on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I'm sure probably people are getting tired of us always drawing a parallel to this game. But
yep. Well, okay. Real quick caveat: the game originally was pretty much a direct clone of Galaxy of Heroes. So, I mean, it's the closest model that it really has. I mean, there are other similar ones, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had a similar one. There was one I used to play that never made it out of beta, unfortunately, called Legends Reborn, which was awesome. So, yeah, those were a couple of really good ones.
But yeah, so I mean, with those, correct me if I'm wrong, they had tons of status effects. Am I right?
Oh yeah. Like I don't know about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh no, I was just talking exclusively Star Wars Galaxy. I have no idea.
Oh, Galaxy has a ton of status effects. In fact, my Jedi Squad with Bastila is crazy. That's what they do. So,
well, that's the nice thing about it, is that it allows for more things to come, more intricate team ups and things like that, where you start to combine and stack effects to make them work together, and you have a strategic plan laid out on when you can use what status effect. Like, that's what makes the game more intricate, more status effects.
On offense, I agree with you. On defense, it actually makes it harder, because the AI doesn't work the same way you would, because you may not throw Juggernaut's immunity up first thing because you want to wait till something else triggers, whereas the AI is just going to do it. So
yeah, well, I mean, you got to learn
the
to
more
play
status effects you have can wind up, causing, I've always said that complicated kits make complicated defenses, and they just don't work. It just unless it's just something crazy, it typically just doesn't work on defense.
I mean, I think that once you play the game enough, you know exactly what the computers are going to be doing pretty much. And I think that it's easy. I mean, it's definitely easier. I would prefer it if it's actually against people who can think for themselves, or more advanced AI than what they have. God knows that if they actually increase the AI level, that they could actually do some more intricate stuff. But I would be actually okay with that if they reduced their luck factor a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I don't like RNG over obvious ability to play the game. So yeah. But anyways, I think regardless, for me at least, more status effects makes for a more intricate and strategic and fun game. But
yeah, and don't hear me say I don't want them. I'm just saying
you hate
that,
them. You hate them and you don't want them at all.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Liar. That's a lie. I was going to do it at least once.
Yep.
So I do like the status effects, but it does wind up, unless they wind up getting crazy powerful, like what they do with Fury, where they just wind up getting everything and spreading it to everybody.
Right.
It does complicate kits when you have some of these special effects. Now, they can work remarkably well. I've seen it work great in other games where, these status effects, if the speed is right and the effect itself is right, then, it can be game changing. I'll be interested to see what Juggernaut and Pyro can do with these on defense specifically before making any final judgments, though.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, hey, 2 new status effects. That's cool. That's definitely something that I personally am happy to see, and am excited to try out sometime next year. Speaking of not being able to get characters until next year, Storm is now farmable, and she's available in Mystic 2-3. Are you excited about that, Hebrew? I mean, are you going all in? Are you going for Magneto at this point?
So Chewie and I were actually talking about this earlier on if we were going to. I was trying to figure out if he was going to go for it. I'm hoping he doesn't. That way I can be one of the few people that has Brotherhood. But here's the thing: is that if it's going to take a lot of money, then no. If it's going to take some money, then yes, because the big question mark is Pyro, because it's going to be just blitz based. So that's the thing that's going to cost me.
You can buy orbs.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
Orbs.
That's what's going to cost me. So if I get into, which the 1500 is obviously going to be incredibly high because he's going to be exclusive to the blitzes. If I can get in 1500 both times, which I think I can, if I actually like get off my ass and set alarms and do it, I should be able to come in 1500. It's probably going to be, I think it's going to be high 3, early or low 4s. I guess I was thinking high 3.
I was going to say if it's under 4.5, if it's under 4.5, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean you're probably right. In retrospect, you're probably right. I think that either way, I should be able to do it if I really want to. But it's going to be a pain, and I hate blitz, so that's going to be annoying. But the other thing is, I'm definitely, even if I get top 1500 on both, I'm still going to have to invest in whatever offers they have and potentially orbs. Right. So I don't know if I'm willing to throw down that much money. So, and considering he's going to have a campaign event come out soon after, I don't know. I'm just going to have to see. Either way.
Where's your Mystique right now?
My Mystique is just at 4 stars.
Oh, congrats. I just unlocked her this week. So she's 2-star.
Yeah,
I'm not worrying about it.
Yeah, I bought 1 pack and for her whenever she came out, and then I have been farming her and with her refreshes, with her 50 refreshes each day. So, and I think I only missed like 1 day of that, and now I'm starting to do the same on Storm because I'm a little short of 5 stars on Storm, but I should pick that up soon. So, not too worried. But either way, I don't realistically, if I look at this, just kind of objectively, I don't think I'm going to make it, but which is going to be a shame because I've thrown down. I bought the Juggernaut pack, so one of them, not both of them. I didn't do both. So that's 55
so how many shards did you get?
So I quoted you wrong earlier because I wasn't looking at the game. But so it's 16,000 orb fragments, and you get 55 shards.
Right. So that's 8 orbs with a minimum of what? 8?
Minimum of
8 per?
Minimum of 5. But the higher roll is the 8.
So you're going to go anywhere from 95. So you're going to go anywhere from 95 to a potential 200.
Yeah.
Because you get, 25 per. So I would say on average, you should be able to get 140 shards.
No, the average ended up being about 120, I think, if I remember correctly. And that's exactly what I got. So
I think I was counting 9 orbs when I was doing mine earlier.
Yeah, I think so, because I quoted you wrong. I told you 18. That's why. But yeah, I think that it's going to end up being about 120 on average, and that's exact. I actually got 119. So
I'm going to be honest. I think that pack's ridiculously overpriced.
I think every offer in this game is ridiculously overpriced, and I think that if you expect anything different than that, then you're crazy at this point. Bottom line, if you're putting money into this game, then you should expect to spend ridiculous prices.
Storm was almost the same exact deal at half that price.
Was she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I bought because I'm pretty sure you got 55 shards and maybe it was only 4 orbs. But
I don't recall her ever getting shards. I recall her getting fragments only, not shards with fragments.
Was it just fragments?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Man,
because I bought a Storm pack whenever it was released, and I'm fairly positive. I'm about 90% positive it was just the orb fragments. Someone else from the audience can probably confirm that one on me. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was just the orb. But either way, yeah, I think this is overpriced. 100%. I agree with you. I think every single offer in this game, besides the beginner offer and the when we had that one special not too long ago,
right?
And that one was, I think, like there was like a couple of offers there, like 2 or 3 offers that were actually decently priced. Still a little too expensive, if you ask me, but at the end of the day, like, no, if you want to spend money in this game, you are not going to get good value. Bottom line, if you got the money to burn because you love the game, then do it. I got to be honest, this game has kept me off of buying other games. So, it worked out. So, I don't know. It doesn't really affect me too much, but yeah, I don't think if you are ever in a position where you're wondering, should I do this because I don't have a lot of money right now? Then, and which I'm actually one of these people. I'm a terrible example. Don't ever do what I do.
Look, whatever Hebrew tells you, just do the opposite, poor. Okay? Just do the opposite.
Yeah, as I'm saying this, I'm like, okay, like I don't have a lot of money in the bank. I probably shouldn't be doing this. But yeah, so don't be me. I eat ramen. I'm a college student. I eat ramen for my meals. So I probably shouldn't be doing this either. But yeah, so don't be like me. Don't if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Bottom line.
Pretty much.
So
pretty much.
Because you're never gonna get your money's worth, really.
Well, so Storm though she is now farmable. She is in Mystic 2-3, so she should be accessible to a lot of people. I mean, I would imagine that I can't remember what I beat Mystic 2-3 with. I think I beat Mystic 2-3. I have to double check. I would check, but I can't get into the game. So, we do know though that Juggernaut is coming next week, and that all the Brotherhood characters are now in the game. So all their models, abilities, everything's in the game now. Juggernaut is going to be coming next week. He will be starting November 11th for the campaign, and then November 14th for Strike Raid Beta. For now, you can buy orbs and offers until the start of the campaign. I'm pretty sure most of those are going to continue through the campaign because it's Fox.
No, apparently they are not.
Really,
they're not.
I'll be surprised by that.
They explicitly stated in the message that they're get them because they're not going to be on anymore. Like you're not going to be able to get the orbs or anything until or whenever the campaign starts. So if you want them and you're questioning it, and you know why they're doing it too, because they don't want you to see how farmable the campaign is.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
But keep in mind, people, like if you're looking for just a 5-star Juggernaut, there is a decent chance that you can get him from the maybe if you farm him super hard and throw down a little bit of money, there's a decent chance you get up to 5 stars with between the campaign and the raid. Just because I'm basing this off of Venom, because he was very farmable. I think I almost have him at 6 stars. I bought one of his packs, and I think I almost have him at 6 stars now. So I think if I didn't get the pack, I think I still would have been able to get him to 5 stars, and that was just from doing my 50 refreshes.
Yeah,
and doing we did really well on I don't know if we were 100%ing it or 60%ing it, but whatever the impressive move was for that raid, I'm sure, or my my alliance and I did the impressive version of whatever it was. So I think we 100%ed it if I remember correctly. And so yeah, as long as you can do that kind of stuff and you're on the higher end of as far as alliances are concerned, I think that you'll be just fine in being able to 5-star them.
Now, one thing I want to remind everybody of: this is Strike Raid Beta. It is not Strike Raid Alpha, so it will be a different Strike Raid, most likely with different nodes. So whatever you did before, don't expect to be able to do it again immediately. I imagine there's probably gonna be a lot of Mystic in this. So
keep in mind you are going to have to go through with your Mystic team, if I remember correctly, for Juggernaut.
Yeah, I would not be surprised by that.
Yeah, it says it somewhere in here. But yeah, let's just keep going. I'll see that in a second.
Yeah, so we'll let Hebrew come back to that. Pyro Blitz is coming, and the Pyro Blitz will run November 23rd and November 30th. And as I stated earlier, I'll be darn surprised if these are lower than 4.25 to 4.5 million. I'll be really surprised, because he's the last piece of the puzzle. And if you've got Mystique and you've got Juggernaut, and obviously you've got Wolverine, you most likely have Storm, you need either Sabretooth and Pyro. Nobody's getting Sabretooth.
You're not getting
let's be honest. You're not getting Sabretooth. And so you need to get Pyro, which means that you could be one of the lucky 1,500 that gets a couple of really good drops on the blitz, and then with a little bit of orb spending, you can get there. So I have to kind of now I'm going to have to admit I kind of reverse course from my angst of last week. I think I was very down on this release, just because comparing it to how other games release their characters, I keep forgetting that raids here are very accessible, and that the campaigns and everything, all new releases have some type of paywall behind them. If Sabretooth was required, this would be a completely different conversation, but he's not.
Yeah.
So I need to reverse course a little bit and say, after deliberating about this for a week and seeing how they're kind of doing this, I think it's going to be okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not happy about Pyro only being available for Blitz, but I decided once I saw how the release cadence was going to be, I'm just not doing it. So if you're going for it, then good luck. That top 1,500 is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing: is that with the way that they're releasing this, it's going to be incredibly it's going to be the hardest team to get on the first run, because even with Fury, we had more time, if I remember correctly, to start setting up because of the leaks from Casino, start setting up for Kree. They were far more farmable, obviously, in every aspect. So this is far more difficult to get them on the first run.
And that's kind of my thing.
The good thing is, though, is that, well, hold on, let me just finish up this thought. The good thing is, though, is that similarly to Fury, they had a second run that came by pretty quick. And they've already mentioned that that's what's going to happen with this one.
It'll be in the new year.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they're having this one at the end of the year. That'll be in the new year. But it's coming by much quicker than what a normal legendary event would come around for. So keep that in mind. And, everything that's hard to farm right now, they already said they're having event campaigns for, and probably blitzes. I don't think that they explicitly stated blitzes as well, but probably blitzes as well for the next run. So if you don't get it this time, honestly, it's far better to just wait, period. If there's any doubt in your mind, unless you are a dolphin that really wants to go hard, or a whale. That's just kind of what it is, bottom line, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And my big thing, what I think decided it for me, was looking at it and seeing how the team comps were going to be. My understanding is that this is really going to be arena only viable. It doesn't look like it's going to have any raid sustainability at all. You may be able to drop it in on a couple of nodes and clear it with them, but it's not a team that you're going to run through raid like you would with Fury or the Defenders.
No, it's not a sustained team at all.
Right. And so it looks like, at least for arena compositions, that Brotherhood's going to be able to beat Fury, but the Defenders should be able to beat Brotherhood, and then obviously Fury can beat Defenders. So we're getting kind of into that rock, paper, scissors. I don't know where Tech's going to lie in that right now, because this team may wind up going to be kind of a Tech nightmare because of the buffs that they get. So
yeah, I mean, they come out
just
going to
have to
buffs,
see.
So
yeah. So
if you roll with the vision, at least.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see really kind of a 3-team meta take shape, probably 4 with Tech. And it'll be interesting, because I'm actually working on a new arena team that looks kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Black Panther, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, probably Daredevil, and Iron Fist. And so that team should be crazy. We'll have to see how that goes. I've got to work on my Spider-Man and Black Panther, though. So
yeah, you throw in Okoye instead of Lisa. I would say Lee Sin, instead of Iron Fist, that whenever she comes out, and you're going to have a killer team.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So that's Pyro. He's only going to be available by blitzes. His second blitz does start after the Magneto event. So Magneto will be starting on November 29th and will run for a full week. So he'll have a 7-day duration. There will be daily shards leading up to the event, just like what they do with Iron Man and the other one. And you obviously will only be able to use Brotherhood and X-Men characters to unlock him. Now, I will say that one thing, it does seem like this is going to be your standard legendary event, which is a little disappointing, mainly because we had heard early on from leaks that it was going to be some new type of event, but it's not shaping up to be that way from what I'm seeing. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, like we kind of know from not only leaks from Casino, but from talking with some of the devs that they were tossing around a few ideas about what to do because they did want to kind of change it up a bit, and they were looking at partner events and things like that. Didn't end up really being the case. That's fine. I hope that they do get a little more experimental with stuff like that in the future. I wasn't liking the way it was looking just for personal reasons because Vision was a part of it, and that would have really screwed me. But yeah, I think that I think either way,
wanted that so bad.
That would have been hilarious. I will say, yeah, that would have been hilarious. But yeah, I think that overall, this is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with this, but I do want them to kind of experiment more in the future. I feel bad for them because I feel like Reddit blows up every time whenever they try to experiment with anything, and that kind of keeps them from wanting to do stuff like that in the future a little bit, just so they don't get yelled at. So I think we have to be. I think that's one important thing that we have to think about whenever we discuss yelling at Fox next. Is we have to be constructive with our criticism to them. We do have to bring it to their attention, of course. We can't just lie down and let them do whatever. But we do have to be. We have to bring it to them. We have to make sure that we are noticed with our complaints, but we do have to be constructive with them, and we can't just yell angrily into the void because then it's not going to help anyone, and they're just not going to pay attention to the group of people yelling at them, and it diminishes the value of those who are trying to give constructive criticism. So.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the same thing that I've said in the past. Let me yell at them. You guys all be good, right? Let me yell at them. You guys all be good, and let's old podcast. I once said, let's put the pitchforks down and breathe. And you guys do that. Let me carry the pitchfork, okay? Because Hebrew will tell you I do.
Yeah, you always have a pitchfork ready to go.
I keep a shed full of those things ready to throw. I'm ready for the apocalypse, man.
Yeah,
zombie apocalypse. I am ready for it. So, Magneto event. It's just going to be your standard legendary. I'll be interested. I'm a little sad I won't play through the campaign event because I do love the stories that they put into these, and it's a lot more fun than like Galaxy of Heroes, where it's just like drop you in, you go through 8 waves, and you're done. This actually has a story and progression through it. So I always do enjoy that. So that is our Brotherhood update of the week. And so now we're going to go over a couple of the other updates. So they did implement additional cheat detection. So hopefully that'll help correct some of the cheating that we've been seeing. There's been some question recently for things like, I know in my own alliance, we're going over some of the people that had completed Dark Dimension and going, there's no way this person completed that node or this mode with an 80k squad, but that's what it was displaying, and it was a top squad doing like 4.5 million damage. Like, no way.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the things like that are going to get caught and get fixed.
Yeah, I'm still the one thing that I'm worried about with this stuff is it kind of haunts me now. I thought that we were in a much better position until we got to Dark Dimension, because we saw a lot of those issues whenever we got into the T4 mats with the
with the guilds, with the alliances. Yeah.
And so we saw like a little bit of that, and I was like, okay, all right, we got him. Like, all right, not too much to worry about anymore. And then I saw that shitstorm whenever Dark Dimension came out, and I'm honestly like, I still just think that there's lots of people cheating. I can't get it out of my mind.
And we see it in Blitz now. I mean, we're seeing it in Blitz. And
so
sadly, some men just want to watch the world burn. right? You know,
How dare you
there's
bring a
there's my
DC quote
Batman.
in here?
Hey, there's my Batman because the Nolan trilogy was badass. Um, so you know, cheaters are going to cheat, right? Everybody's going to try to do what
Yeah.
they can to get an advantage to game the system or to quote unquote win the game. And so, I mean, it's unfortunate. It happens. It's something that they're going to have to address. I've seen it in other mobile games.
Yeah, I've seen it in other mobile
And
games as well, but I just haven't seen it in this amount of volume before. But I don't know, it might be because I joined into those games later where they already kind of took care of that problem, and or other games, because I've been involved in games where there's a bigger community. Like Dokkan, for instance, like to my knowledge, you never really see cheating in there anymore. And that has a much bigger community than this game does.
right,
And so I think, and I play some other games that are in similar situations. So I feel like this, like Fox Next in particular, or just use like old clients or leave easy loopholes, something for that to happen. I don't know, but either way, I hope that they do, that this new cheat detection really does help with that. And I do have faith in them to a degree to take care of this. I'm just still so, I guess, kind of traumatized by seeing like, oh my God, was so many there. It was like a cockroach infestation whenever it was like you kept crushing them and then more and more would come out of the hole and you're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on?
yeah,
So that it kind of scares me that those were obviously all the idiots too, right? Because only
right,
an idiot would like, oh yeah, I'm at the top of the leaderboard, no one's gonna find out I have a team that's 77k power. Like those are the idiots. I'm really worried about everything else now, all of the smarter people that didn't go out of their way to make it look like they're cheating. So
right. We'll see.
yeah,
I mean,
we'll see with that. I
we'll
don't
see
want
what
to harp on it too
happens.
much. Yeah, I don't want to harp on it too much. But yeah, I that being said, they're obviously putting out stuff to try to stop this. I hope that it is successful, and I guess we'll see if it.
Yeah. So now we finally got, or at least you got, save squads. So
Yep.
save squads are now in game. You get your big total of 15. And that's just ridiculous to me. I'm sorry. It's so dumb. Anyway, you now have your save squads, but there's a bug. And this bug is actually really, really, really huge. And I'm not going to describe the bug because I don't want to give people. Well, they're supposed to be
I'll just
squashing
tell
it
them.
today.
Yeah, they're going to
So
squash it.
yeah, they're going to squash it today. So the bug basically is that you can take, for example, Storm into raid, and you can build her up her 20 charges and exit out of the raid, go into arena, load her up, and bomb Nick Fury and blow them up as if they never even existed. So basically, all abilities, all turn meter, all health, everything transition from arena to blitz to raids and back through the save squad system. And I don't recommend anybody try this. I just don't. So because we don't know if they're going to do anything for people that were doing this intentionally to maybe increase their arena rank or whatever. Don't do this if you're listening live. If they haven't fixed it by the time this goes live, please don't do this. But I think that it's going to be an interesting it's going to be an interesting fix. They need to get it out now. And I have seen, and I'm a little perturbed by this. Apple
Mhm.
users got a gift for the Save Squad bug.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure everyone will be.
Nope, Android's not getting it because we're not in game, so therefore we're not affected. Therefore, we don't deserve to get.
I can guarantee you send in something to support, and they're gonna throw something back your way. I mean, or they're just going to release that for Android at a later time whenever they're not going crazy on trying to fix Android right now. I don't think that. One thing you do have to realize, they're slow to respond on a lot of stuff. Granted, right now they're in a frenzy trying to get Android out. I can guarantee you that. I'm not going to guarantee you, but I'm going to say with a lot of confidence that you will be taken care of one way or the other, even if you do have to unfortunately ask for it. But I'm sure that they will take care of you. Everyone was affected in the same way. I'm sure it'll be okay. But that being said,
Maybe
with this,
we'll see.
I can say I'm pretty sure.
I've heard. All I can tell you is that I've heard from people that has that have already tried this or have talked to them. They've been told that Android's not getting it. That I can only report off what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I'm sure this is going to be another one of those situations where, support. All right, let me ask this. What was the source that said that? Was it like they wrote into support and support said no?
I think it was somebody in our Discord.
Okay, well,
I think it was somebody in the show Discord that made the comment. I'd have to find it.
Either way, something tells me it's just like they didn't get it right now or something like that.
Maybe I think they intentionally called out the Android users. It's a dev posted on Reddit.
Sorry, one of our members in the audience is letting us know he was the one that actually sent us the post.
Yes.
So yeah. So apparently a dev posted it on Reddit. Once again, I'm sure that this is just he spoke too soon or it was poorly worded. He also just said so there might be just some ambiguity there. I don't know, but either way, it's just not logical that that Android wouldn't. So I'm sure that one way or another, you can get a ticket even if it takes a message that you send in. If not, I would be incredibly surprised. That's all.
Yeah, it may have been just a misreading. So the Marvel Strike Force team on Reddit said that gift was for the saved squads bug, not related to the Android downtime. Let's see. So iOS players being compensated for downtime, they don't suffer, but rather benefit from it. And they said, no, the gift was for the save squad bug, not related to the Android downtime. It was roughly 200 blitz charges and 8,000 blitz orb fragments. So 200 blitz charges and 4 orbs. We'll see. I hope
it just sounds poorly worded.
Get it. If Android people don't get it, please send them a support ticket. And then
be nice, but send them a
be nice. Be nice, and if they don't do it, come post on our Discord, and I'll go rail on your behalf. So
yeah,
because that's what I does.
Well, but as far as the save squads are concerned, I checked it out. I messed around with it a little bit. I know a lot of you have not had the pleasure to do so. The UI for it, I like. I think it's good. Tiny little quality of life thing that I'm nitpicking on right now is I wish that I could have a name on it, but it does show your full team in a line, so you don't really need it, I suppose. But I personally would like Blitz Team 1, Blitz Team 2, Blitz Team 3, that kind of thing. But either way, not a big deal. That's a little tiny thing. I know that they listen sometimes, so if you are on this episode, go ahead and put that in there. Yeah.
Can I snark for 1 minute?
Snark.
Okay. Dude, they can't give you more than 15. You expect them to be able to give you the opportunity to put names on them? Really?
That seems easier than adding more. But yeah, well, I mean, actually so probably not.
The data requirements to do those 15 would be less than the characters for typing out a name, because the IDs, I'm pretty sure, for those are going to be integers, and storing integers is smaller than storing characters. So, saying.
Yeah, I have no clue, so I won't comment on that. But either way, I think that it was the decision at 15. I think was a somewhat silly one. I don't think it's going to be too bad right now. 15, unless you do have a lot of teams, which I could see people getting up to 15. Don't get me wrong, since it is all being combined under one 15 banner between all of your modes. I definitely see people hitting that, but right now I don't think it's necessary that we have more. It would be nice, certainly. So
we'll need it soon,
and I'm sure, and I'm sure that we will get more. And they've already mentioned that they are not going to charge because we did have such an outcry. Thank God. That's why it is important to have an outcry about stuff that we disagree with.
But do it constructively.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think that we are going to get more. It's inevitable whenever these things happen. We're in these kind of games where we have constantly growing rosters. You're going to need more space. 15 won't cut it for ever. That's for sure. So
right, because you've got Ultimus raid, you've got your Strike Force raids, you've got your arena, you've got Blitz, you've got Dark Dimension. I mean,
any kind of all of these
campaigns,
team specific nodes too.
Team specific nodes. If you want to do anything like squad, as a content creator, I know I'm going to be wanting to do that if I ever do videos, so that I can load my teams up and things of that nature, and not have to go, who did I load for this? Who did I load for that? So, look, 15's a start, but it's definitely not enough.
It's the first iteration of it. It does look nice, and it's easy to use, so that's a plus for me, at least. I think it looks nice.
So Flip in our chat says I've already hit my squad team limit.
That's funny.
That's spectacular, and I am 0% surprised by that.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, like I think that it isn't like, I don't think it's going to be necessary that you have a lot more than that. I think people are going to hit it, but I think it's because that they particularly want a lot of saved teams. Like I said, it's at that point where it's just barely sufficient for right now.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, let's go ahead and move it on.
Yeah. So next, we've been told that the Red Star is coming soon, and nobody in the world rejoice.
I don't really want this.
I mean, we don't have any information. We don't really know how this is going to work, but I'm not thrilled by this because, as we all know, going from gear 10 to gear 11 to gear 12 really doesn't do much for your power, and to accommodate for that,
it does a good bit. It does a good bit.
From 10 to 11, and then 11 to 12. So it's not nearly as significant of a jump between those as it is between like 8 and 10. That feels like a significant jump. I haven't sat down.
Are you going off of feeling or numbers?
I'm going off of feeling, right? Because Punisher, I can't get into the game to tell you what happens. But if Punisher's getting 200 damage, that's nothing, right? That's nothing. If you go from 11 to 12 and you get 200 damage, that's really nothing. Or you get 1,500 health, that's nothing.
Right.
And I think that rather than going in and saying, "Hey, we need to adjust what you get per gear," they're trying to accomplish the same thing with this Red Star org. So, and I can't take full credit for that idea. I did hear it from somebody else, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's the 11 to 12 jump actually seems to make a good bit of difference to me from my experience. So I can't fully agree with that. But either way, we don't. You're right. We don't know a lot about how they're going to work. They were poorly worded before. So a lot of people were thinking. In fact, I think you and I both disagreed on how they were going to be implemented. You thought they were going to be you get this particular star. You're rolling for a particular star, right? Like star number 3, star
right.
number.
That's
number
the way
6.
it read to me. Yes.
Right. The way it read to me was you are gaining stars. Period. It doesn't like you get a star for crossbones. It isn't a specific star. It's just you have, or with the later on ones when you can get multiple, you get 3 stars for crossbones, right? So you just get 3 stars for crossbones. So I think it works like that. I personally think that also makes more sense with the way that the game has previously worked, but I have had enough people that I've heard claim it to be either way, that apparently it is a validated theory for both. So either way, I would love to hear more about it. Regardless, though, it's just another layer of RNG that I don't really want. And I personally still think that it is going to be a pain whenever you invest so much in these characters that, like, so you invested everything in Fury, right? Or the Defenders.
If you don't get Fury, sorry for your
exactly. All of a sudden, you're going to get outscaled by people who, and this goes for any team that you really invest in. It's not just a Fury thing, but like anything that you really invest in, if you are not lucky enough to get these red stars, you're going to be outscaled by teams that are way shittier than you and aren't necessarily leveled nearly as high. So it's just another layer of RNG that I'm not looking forward to having. Maybe it's implemented better than I think. I tend to jump to the worst possible scenario in my mind because I want to be surprised. A good surprise, not bad surprise. But but yeah, I'm interested to hear more, but let's just say I'm not really looking forward to it too much.
Yeah. So real quick, because I looked this up, Punisher going from gear 10 to gear 11, he gets a total of, let's see, MSFGG says his damage goes up by 400. Um, I'm doing the math, and the damage says 18, 100, 185. So I'm not sure where they're getting 400 because that leads me to believe that it's 285 plus 18. So not so like 303. So I'm not sure where it's getting 400, but maybe they get something for that gear level itself. 400 damage though is a total of with his if his basic is maxed out, you're getting 240% damage. So he's getting roughly 800 extra damage going from gear 10 to gear 11. And the cost requirements for that gear is outrageous.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there. Cost requirements for anything in this game are outrageous.
It is, and so what I guess the point I'm trying to make, and
well, hold on, wait. Let me just specify something.
Credit to real quick, credit to like Chewy and Big Roy from Masters of Launch podcast because I heard this from them originally because I didn't think about this when we were talking about the Red Star Orb, but the cost requirements for these gear levels and the stat bonuses that you get for that cost requirement is honestly just a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I want to say, though, that the cost requirements are absurd relative to the amount of gold that we get. I just want to go ahead and specify that. So, yeah, I think that the cost requirements are crazy considering we don't get enough gold at all. And so, yeah, these cost requirements for gear upgrades and ability upgrades and star upgrades are crazy. So, yeah, either way, though, I think that it always makes an impact as far as gear leveling up, like a decent impact. I have always felt the difference with gear impacting. So, yeah, I can't say. I felt like I was doing far better in raids whenever I hit gear 12 than I did gear 11. And same with the jump from 10 to 11. So, yeah, either way, though. Good stuff. I don't even remember what section we were on for this. Oh, we were talking about the Red Star
because the Red Star is, in my opinion, credit to the MML podcast that I agree with them that this feels like it's a way to compensate for the cost of the gear and not getting benefit from it, as much benefit as you should. So, yeah. Next. Actually, was there anything else you wanted to say about Red Star?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. So next we were informed that the defenders were updated in the campaign, raids, dark dimensions, and challenges. So any place that is a PvE, the defenders were updated to match their player level. So if you were facing the defenders going, ooh, these guys don't seem that tough, that's because they were still using the old system. So they've now been updated, and anytime you face them, you're going to be facing a fully buffed defender squad now. So, yay!
Yeah,
it needed to happen. There's no reason why they shouldn't be as buffed in PvE. Or at least close to it. They need to be a challenge, right? So, yeah.
I mean, we've seen these situations before. We saw it with Loki, right? I mean, never in a squad format, but we saw it with Loki, where all of a sudden it switched, and you were like, "What the hell just happened?" And there was one other that we saw. Ultron. I need a confirmation on this because I don't know if I'm crazy or not. But I had, whenever we had Thanos out, I had a lot of Ultron nodes, and because I was running up the far left side, and whenever his change happened, I could have sworn that he used his beam on his first turn, and then he did his summons. And about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe even a little more potentially, I think they switched it so that way he does his I know now what they do. Their summons first, and then he does his beam. So I think they did that because it was impossible to take him down without him killing someone, pretty much, because that beam did so much damage, and it did double damage to people who had defense up. So if you taunted it with like Captain America or something like that, you're especially screwed. So yeah, it's either way. I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm not really looking forward to the outcome because I play a full defenders team, a high level full defenders team, and I know what they can do. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing them on nodes now, like a good bit.
Oh yeah, I have zero doubt of that one.
Yep. So we're gonna have to be careful about that, but let's see.
Yeah.
Look, we can probably just run through the next section, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to kind of run down this list, and then if there's anything specific you wanted to talk about afterwards. Ant-Man's passive. So they actually provided patch notes, which was really nice. And in this patch notes, they gave a big list of bug fixes. So we're going to cover the bug fixes now. And Ant-Man's passive text was updated. Iron Man's level 6 special ability preview now matches the description box. Spider-Man's level 7 basic now upgrades secondary target damage. I have questions on that one.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel now assists Black Panther after using his charged ultimate, which is nice. I saw that not working. Combat passives that apply positive effects at spawn now last the appropriate duration. So I'm not sure who specifically that was affecting, but that seems like that's a good fix. Wolverine's Wolverine's sound effect restored. I think that's for his ultimate. His shout sound effect or something.
Yeah,
for
his shout sound effect
restored. Yeah. I play with the music off, so I couldn't tell you. Let's see. They fixed Storm's dynamic camera. Now, when one of your characters resists, it will say resisted. They fixed an issue where 2 players were able to finish one raid node. The global damage leaderboard now shows the correct team composition. The free orb art on the main screen now matches the art in the orb chamber. There was a minor visual polish to the dark dimension. They fixed Thor's hammer's visual in his victory pose. That's what Thor needed. And they corrected several Blitz leaderboard visual issues. So the only ones on here that I really question, I don't know what Ant-Man's passive was, how the text read before, what it reads now. And then the Spider-Man's level 7 basic now upgrades the secondary target damage. I'm wondering if Spider-Man's level 7 read that it upgraded the secondary damage, but wasn't actually doing it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I mean the one that captures me the most, that I'm most interested in, is the Spider-Man one, because that I guess they potentially
do me a favor
slightly, I guess. Yeah,
do me a favor, go into your game
right as I was sending a text message. All right, I'm in the game.
Not focusing. All right, go to Spider-Man.
I can multitask unlike you, apparently. All right, go to
Spider-Man. Go to his basic and read me the text on his level 7 basic.
Okay. Level 7 basic. 50% damage to primary and secondary targets, 10% chance to gain evade. That's the level 7 upgrade.
Yeah, they changed that because it looks like, according to MSFGG, it's been so what's it start at level 1?
Starts out at level 1. Attack primary target for 80% damage and 50% chance to chain up to one adjacent target for 60% damage. 30% chance to gain evade.
At level 2, so read down and find the next one where the adjacent states.
So 30% damage to primary and secondary targets. Then it's 20% damage to primary and secondary targets. And then it is 20% damage to primary targets only. And then 20% damage to primary and secondary targets. And then 50% damage to primary targets, 20% damage to secondary targets.
Okay, yeah. So MSFGG has it 60% all the way across the board at every level. So
That ain't right.
yeah, that I don't know if that's an MSFGG issue or if that's how the text used to be and they corrected it. I'm not positive, but yeah, I don't know if this was another buff for Spider-Man or if it was an actual bug fix.
Yeah, it's hard to
So
say since they seem to have done that quite a bit. Like they're
right,
retroactively changing the wording to match the effect.
right. And here's the thing though. So like, can you do me one last favor?
Mhm.
Because I'm curious, and I have a feeling that everyone else well. What does Ant-Man's passive read now?
Oh gosh, gotta go find Ant-Man.
Oh, dude, he should be like towards the top.
Lol. He is good though. He is good.
Yeah, he is good. I
I should
run
say
him in one of my
he's
8 point.
underrated. He's underrated. All right. So which one did you want me to look at?
The passive.
The passive. Okay. And what do you want me to look on it?
What's the text say?
So I have him on level 3, or I'm sorry, level 2 right now. On spawn, apply evade to Wasp if she is an ally. On turn, 10% chance to gain evade plus 5% chance to gain assist now.
Okay, what's it say at level 5?
On turn, plus 5% chance to gain assist now.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to take a look. I'm not sure what they may have changed because that read like on ms.gg, so I'm not sure what passive text may have been changed. I don't think anybody's throwing in a T4 utility mat or T4 ability mat on Ant-Man. If you did,
Don't.
and you're not happy with the ability change, you might want to request a refund. So that is the bug fixes, and we already discussed the bug on the save squads. And as everybody is aware, still no Android update. It's probably going to be sometime in the morning of November 10th. Hopefully, by the time this podcast drops, you guys have all been able to get back into the game and enjoy this glorious, glorious update.
I will say, just for future reference for them, that they should not allow iOS to start or Android, whichever one comes first. They shouldn't allow one to start without the other. Like, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem if this was held on till the morning. Maybe others would. Maybe other people are actually yelling at me right now. But I wouldn't have had a problem if iOS was held off until Android was ready. So I just think that that's more fair. So I would have had a problem with it.
I agree with that statement 100%. I think that,
of course you would.
Well, I mean, I've been on a different side of this, like with Galaxy of Heroes, where Android got stuff that Apple didn't. Now that was paid for, so that's a slightly different. But
Okay.
I understand the argument that there's, especially if it's something that gives people competitive advantage. For example, I'm going to miss my arena, so I could be knocked out of my pay and not be getting where I would, not be able to. I can't climb. I can't get above 200 right now. And I could be knocked below 500. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
I can't blitz. I'm losing basically,
Yeah, that's a good point.
8 hours. I've lost 4 blitzes runs right now. I can't.
Yeah. For an unfarmable character, nonetheless.
Right, for an unfarmable character, and somebody in my alliance, it not his fault. He's been up a long time. He started Deadpool. I can't get in and I can't do that raid.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point,
I can't participate in the Ultimates raid that we had running. I can't do my Dark Dimension right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff which I'm probably just done with for a while anyway. But I just it for the iOS users, Apple users, I think it's great that you guys are in. You get to look at all the pretty stuff and you get to buy your things and you get to do your Miss Marvel. I'm missing out on Miss Marvel, man. She's important to me right now, and I was going to drop cores to refresh to try to get her to 5 stars.
Yeah, you're missing
if
out
not
on
higher.
You missed out on her day, to do it. You missed out on a day of 50 refreshes because of that. Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling you guys are going to see a pretty big, and hopefully they give it to everyone. Because if not, I'm going to say, hold on.
Why should Apple get extra? Why should Apple get benefits?
because you don't know what kind of benefits you're going to get. That's the thing, is that a lot of people won't be affected too much by it, as opposed to someone who would be affected terribly by it. Like, there's going to be some of those people, but it's going to be the minority. So I'm not sure if they're just going to average it out on what you missed and then give you something, or if they're going to give you anything at all, or if they're going to give you worst case scenario. And I don't think that's exactly fair to the people who have been playing, because I don't know. I don't think that everyone's going to be in the worst case scenario, and someone
But
might
you've been
benefit
able
on
to
the
play.
Android side. Either way,
You've been able to play.
Either way, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, if you guys get an awesome reward or something for this, and iOS gets nothing, then I'm going to claim that I have an Android unit, and that.
Yeah, but they know. They know who does and who does not.
Not if I message them while using an Android.
Yeah, they know better. I'm just telling you, they can tell what's a Google Play account, what's an iOS account. They know.
We'll see what happens. But either way, I'm hoping it won't come to that, and that they'll have a good thing.
And I'll be honest with you, man. If you do that and you get a reward, I'm probably just going to rage quit, because that is honestly. I mean, you now have an 8-hour advantage over everybody on Android. Everybody. And then to claim that, oh, you deserve the same thing that we got because we can't play? Really?
Well, because I think that it depends on what kind of rewards you guys get. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they give everyone worst case scenario rewards, which would not be the situation for most people, then yeah, I think that that's a slightly unfair advantage as well. And I'm the one arguing for you guys to get something too. I just think that it should be fair.
Fair would be letting everybody into the game.
As I said, I think that they should hold off until both sides are ready. I'm the one arguing for the middle, but if it gets tilted to one side, then I want what the favored side is going to get. That's all I'm saying.
That's not how life works, but okay.
I mean, I was affected by the 42% glitch for like 2 full days, dude. And we didn't get like anything because of that. And I was one of the people that was affected least by it, in the sense that a lot of people were affected for weeks. And I had to write in, I got like 100 cores for it or something. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm
just going to rage quit.
Go ahead.
All right. So that's
how upset you are inside right now is making me.
I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad. I am so mad at you. I mean, you're an awful troll. You know this? You're an awful troll. So that's our news for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. We didn't go too far off topic. That's kind of good for us.
Yeah.
We are going to move now into the week question, and our patron of the week question actually comes from Muggin. So I reached out to Muggin today, and I was like, "Hey, what you got for us?" So Muggin asks, if there was one thing you could bring to MSF from another game you play, what is it? And why do you think the feature would make MSF better? So let me start with you, Hebrew. Any game you play, what feature, it could be a feature, it could be a character, it could be something. What do they need from this game that would make Strike Force better?
Okay, so I know exactly what I want for this. And I've actually mentioned this before whenever we were doing Power Core. I love multiplayer games where I can actually interact with people in real time on my team. So, like in this one game called Dragalia, which Muggin and I actually play, although I haven't played it in like I think 2 weeks now, but I need to get back into it. But with Dragalia, like he and I can play in real time on the same team. I can go into his game, we can raid together, things like that. To bring it a little closer, just because that's a totally different style of game, to bring it a little closer, I play this game called Naruto Blazing, and they have this mode where you can bring in, basically, you have a team of 6 that you run, right, for a campaign node, you could say, and whenever you can put in a whole team of 6 by yourself if you want, run it like that, or you can get special benefits. It's called increased luck, where you just get a better chance of a rarer drop if you play multiplayer. And in multiplayer, basically it divides that 6 into 3 people, so each person gets to pick 2 people to bring in, and then you run as one team. So I think something like that would be kind of cool. Granted, we only have 5 here, so it's an odd number, But if they had like a special node or something like that, it's just basically something, or even if you were able to play, I suppose, with one other person, but the team leader, quote unquote, would get to pick 3, and the other person would only get to bring 2 people in that he liked. I think that would be kind of cool. But then you have a bit of a balancing issue as well. So I don't know. It would be hard to do. I'm not the person who would be in charge of anything like that. So, I understand why they don't want to do it or haven't done it so far. But it would be really cool if they did that because, yeah, I really like playing with my friends in real time on one team in multiplayer. So something like that would be ideal for me, and I would totally love it.
Nice. For me, actually, there was I kind of thought about this. And I was like, man, I don't really know. But then it dawned on me when I was playing Legends Reborn, which was a Bandai Namco that unfortunately got shelved for I want to say it was Dragon Ball Z. It allowed you to have a team of you had your characters that would go in and fight the other team, but you only fought with like 4 characters at a time on a 5-man team, and one of them was held in reserve. And so you could swap out one of your characters in the middle of the fight with this character from the reserve slot, and they would come in and they would basically that turn, and then they would stay into the fight. So you could actually swap out. So if I had a healer, I could leave my healer in reserve, swap them in when they're like when somebody was really needing help, throw the heal up, and on the next turn I could swap them back out, right? Yeah. So it was a really cool concept that I thought would be really, really nice. So
that would be pretty cool. I would like that.
Yeah, that would change the team dynamic and change some team structure as well, because it would give you a lot more options, and it would be interesting because they also did it like when you did like your arena fights. The opposing team would do the same thing. So only 4, and I can't remember if it was 6 people or 5, but anyway, everybody but one person, was fighting. So there was always, is this person going to ultimate in? Are they gonna hold off? I mean, it had another level strategy, which I thought was a really cool design.
Yeah, that would be.
I think that would be something that would make Marvel Strike Force more unique and kind of stand apart even more from Galaxy of Heroes, Contest of Champions, things of that nature, because those are obvious influences in this game right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Is there anything else? Can you think of another feature from another game you'd like?
Not particularly. I think like multiplayer is just that's my biggest qualm with this game, is I just don't really feel like there's multiplayer obviously, but it's just not in the version, or not in the way that I would like it to be. That's all. I would just like it to actually be. And even also a PvP mode where it's actually fighting, like you get matched with someone in real time and you're fighting against them. I would like that more than the style that they have right now, where it's just AI takes over.
Yeah.
So, other than that, is about it.
Something that I just thought of too that would be kind of interesting is so another game I played with Muggin is Disney Hero Battle Mode. And
you guys still play that?
Yeah. Actually, I just subbed up the other day for my diamonds. I unlocked Stitch, and I have Baymax's one is awesome. So yeah, I play it with my son too. So he likes it. So it's something that he and I can talk about when I go to school in the mornings and stuff. And Warframe. So it's kind of cool for that. But they have a game mode called Heist, and in the Heist you have to go. It's kind of like a raid, but you're trying to find the thief and you're trying to protect these diamonds, from being stolen. But what happens is, so people can move around the board they want to like investigate. But if you find the thief or you're ambushed or whatever, your character goes in, or a character goes in, and you can call surrounding heroes. And the really cool part about it is I can't bring in the same heroes that somebody else is. So if I bring in Baymax and Moana and Stitch, you cannot.
Right.
So I get to, and my team may be spread out, so I got to use your players as part of mine as well.
Right.
So something like that when we do raids would be kind of cool, where we're going through raids, and I have this team that it's the only team I can use for this raid. But when I hit these different nodes, I can swap out with one of your players, or you can
Right.
swap out with mine. Um, so that would be kind of cool. I'm not sure exactly how the mechanics would work, but I think that it would be really interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So, uh, yeah. So just real quick, did anything else pop into your head?
No. That's pretty much it for me.
Okay. So that's our question of the week, or segment of the week, from our patron, Muggin. And so now we are going to the grab bag. So for the grab bag, I've got to go to the channel because I did not copy them in. We have a few questions, and so let's see. Let's start. This should be nice and easy. In a Big Country asks, I believe that sometime early next year we will get an X-Men team to rival Brotherhood or Fury. What would your 5-man X-Men squad with in-game role?
Oh God. You go ahead and handle this one first.
Okay, so I would say that I think we've got two already with Wolverine and Storm. I think Wolverine probably needs a bit of a change to really be top tier. I mean, look, my Wolverine is in my top 5 or 10, so I put a lot into him, and I think that he's great in certain game modes. But I think that he just needs a little bit extra to be like viable in like arena.
Yeah.
So I really think that you have to have Cyclops. You have to have Colossus, and so Cyclops would be an attacker. Colossus is going to be your tank. Um, ooh, and I mean, how can you not have Jean Grey in there, controller, with her telekinesis? So that would be. I would probably go with classic X-Men. I would say Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Colossus as your tank. I would, if we had to pick X-Men that weren't currently in the game, definitely got to add in Iceman. Iceman's really really cool, and he would also be an attacker. Then Rogue would be awesome because she would be the control or support.
Yeah.
So that would be
So
mine.
So mine would be that's a good pick. Mine would probably be I think first of all Nightcrawler would be one for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of, I guess he'd probably be a controller or a brawler. Probably a controller. What do you think he would be if he was in the game? I think he'd probably be a controller.
Nightcrawler. I think Nightcrawler. Yeah, I would say Nightcrawler would be. He might be support.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's true. He might be support too. I don't know if I'd put him as a brawler because he's not that. Like, I mean, I know he has the ability to be like a brawler, kind of, but that's not really what he would be doing. So I would
Right.
imagine support, or I keep going back to controller. I would probably say controller for him. So I'm going to go ahead and say controller for him. I would say maybe, just to be interesting, Kitty for support wouldn't be terrible. Although
Pride,
I would like
all
a
right.
healer. Yeah, although I would like a healer support. Or you know what? Jubilee, would she be?
Oh,
Support, or would
see, I
she
was
be-
afraid you were going to say Jubilee. I'm not sure how I feel about Jubilee. I mean, she's a fireworks guy or person. Sorry,
Yeah.
She's a fireworks girl, and I was never a huge fan of Jubilee. I'm not sure why Wolverine took her under his wing. But yeah, I would say she's
either
probably
way-
an attacker or maybe support.
Yeah, see, I was trying to fill the support role. I would like it to be a healer of some kind, but I just don't know who would be a healer. I'm not
Psylocke?
sure. I don't really know
maybe?
Psylocke, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really 100% sure, but
I mean, Professor X.
Some kind of healer would be good, but if not, Professor X would be a controller, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say he would be a controller.
Yeah, but Professor X would be good instead of Nightcrawler. But I would want Nightcrawler more because I think his animations would be sick. But yeah, so Nightcrawler as a controller. I'm spending way too long on this one, but yeah, Nightcrawler as controller, Brawler as Gambit. I would say.
I was waiting for the Gambit.
He might be a blaster.
Okay,
but I think he'd be a brawler. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Cyclops as blaster and Colossus as a tank.
Okay.
I need one more. I'm going to go ahead and say, oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe Rogue as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd throw Rogue in there. Yeah, that'd be my team. That way I have Gambit and Rogue on the same team. The Raging Cage.
Yeah, nice.
Gosh, I can't wait till Gambit comes out. Ugh.
He's not coming. He's going to be your troll.
Yeah, I already know he's not coming for.
Dude,
I mean,
wailed.
I know that there's no
but
plans.
You dolphined on Juggernaut. You would drop $200 if they came out with an offer for 5 shards for $200 for Gambit. You'd drop it. I know you would.
5 shards for $200? No, I would at least if they came out with an offer of however much it, I guess, whatever star level to unlock him. They gave me enough to just unlock him, and it was $200. But it was an exclusive offer, like so they aren't going to have his event campaign or anything like that coming out in a while. Then yeah, I would do it. I would 100% do it so quickly. But if his event campaign is coming out in like 2 days and it's $200, then no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, if it's like I get him for like 2 months before anyone else, except for the other people that took that offer, then yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. All right, so that was our.
I'd actually probably throw down more than 200.
I know.
But yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to be nice. So there was our 5-man.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. Keep in mind, actually, after this past one, I think I've spent now with this past thing about 350 or so on the game. So I would definitely say I would spend probably about $300 in that scenario if that happens. So I'd be willing to double my investment in this game so far, just for that. So that's how much I love Gambit.
Very nice. So I just got a message on Discord. It looks like the game is up. I am able to currently I'm currently getting the update and logging in. So, yay! All right, that's good stuff. All right, moving on to listener questions. Elk asks, can you guys talk about what you'd like to see to make a Guardians team or even a hybrid Guardians Ravagers team, if they got cross synergies due to shared requirements for Star-Lord and nodes, would look like to compete with the big boys of Fury, Defenders, and Brotherhood? And I'll be honest with you. For me, well, Hyper, why don't you take this one first?
Okay, so is he saying that so each team specifically to be able to hang with the big boys?
No, what would make a Guardians team or a hybrid Guardian Ravager team?
I mean, I don't know. Because Guardians already has a full lineup of named characters, so I wouldn't really sub them with any of the Ravager characters ever. Besides Yondu I'd throw in, but that's about it. I think that all of them are, besides Groot, obviously. Once Groot has his update, they're going to be a formidable team. That's for sure. They're not going to be. I don't even think that they'll be Defenders level. In fact, they won't be Defenders level. They'll be a little bit below Defenders. In order to compete with the big boys, I mean, they would have to. I think one of the biggest things is that they need a dispeller. That's a big problem, that they don't have a dispeller on the team. Besides, they don't have a dispeller. What's her face is coming out. Mantis is supposedly coming out eventually. She's in the game already, but she's not released, or at least they found her data in the game.
Right. I'm
assuming that she's going to have a dispel. She's going to be a support of some kind. And but yeah, the way that they are now, like you're just not going to see him hang out with the big boys. Is he saying what would we change to do it? Dorian?
Wait, say that again. What? Yeah. What?
Gosh.
My game uploaded, man. Yeah. What would you like to see to the Guardians? I mean, just what do they need to hang with the big boys?
So what do they need to hang with the big boys? Yeah, so I think a Dispeller and just generally more damage and synergy between each other. So the only people that really have synergy between the two are the Groot and Rocket right now, if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. So
Yes.
if they were to do more, then yeah, they just need more synergy between each other. That's the reason why these teams are so strong. They have ridiculous amounts of synergy between all members of the Shield. They have ridiculous amounts of synergy between all members of the Defenders. We need to see more of that in Guardians if they're going to hang with the big boys. That being said, for what they are right now, they aren't bad. Whenever Groot gets upgraded, I'm interested to see what they do with him. I also don't know where that update is, but whenever that happens, we're going to see him increase. We're going to see that whole team more prevalent. But I think if I had to rate them, like my gut feeling is they'd still be like a little bit below Defenders, at best Defenders level. But I still don't think that.
No, I don't think they're going to get to Defender level. I
just think that it needs more synergy.
I know Groot gets a lot of hate. Man, that dude is so awesome, though. Well, okay, not in Arena, but I run him in Blitz. Actually, I'll run him on offense in Arena, and he's fine. I wouldn't put him on defense for anything. But Groot's just got a great kit. He needs some buffing for his healing, and I think maybe a little bit more speed. But overall, I think that he's actually.
I think he has a decent kit. He doesn't have anything particularly cool. His synergy
with everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't think that's particularly cool. I think that's kind of boring. But either way, this coolest thing about him is for sure his synergy with Rocket. That's the coolest thing about him.
That is great. I'm not saying it's not, but that
I know
is awesome because it's ready first turn, so I can just death proof everybody, and that's I'm game over because Rocket. If you don't death proof, Star-Lord and Rocket are gonna die. They're just gonna die.
Yeah, but therein lies the problem with the team is that they just don't have enough synergy and then to compete with the big boys, and that's what the question was about. How to make it compete with the big boys.
I think if you speed up Groot, rework his kit a little bit, and speed up Drax. I think speeding up Drax would help. He's so slow.
Well, that's a good and bad thing, though.
Right. I mean, you want a tank to be slow. But if
he's so easy to dispel,
gets dispelled,
yeah,
right. If his taunt gets dispelled, he's done. If he doesn't have his counter up, he's gonna die pretty quick. So
it'd be interesting to see like one of the synergy things that they could have is like it makes him very hard to dispel his taunt because then he would be really good because you could not get that taunt off. And that taunt is super annoying, especially since he's so slow. So, and he has the taunt right off the bat, and then he has another taunt right after. So with the defense up. So yeah, I mean, if they just had more synergy and just made everyone's particular attributes stronger, Groot is obviously the weakest link right now. He needs to be buffed. So as long as they do that, then I think that they would be able to hang with the big boys. But that's just not going to happen. The only person that we're going to see change in the near future, at least, is Groot. And, like I said, I think we're looking at Defenders, if not a little bit below. I mean, below Defenders at best, Defenders level, but still probably not.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I have an elevated opinion. So.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Right, next question. So Ed Carden asks, training orbs are pointless. If you could dump training orbs, replace them with an all new type of, what would that be?
Oh gosh.
Training orbs are a thing,
right? I mean, training orbs are garbage. I wish that I could smelt them into more gold. I don't know of another. I'm trying to think if maybe you could use it to be some kind of star fragment thing. That would be pretty cool. Basically you just got like you can build it into shards basically or something. I don't know, that's dumb as I think about it. I have no idea what other resource you would need. I don't want to think of another resource, I think.
Right.
Especially since I don't want to give them any ideas of another resource.
No, I'm with you on that one. I don't. I can't think of anything either.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's my my lack of creativity, I guess, that's keeping me from figuring that out.
Yeah, same here. I'm not sure I have an answer. Because I mean, we already have orbs for everything in the game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what will we add? What could we add?
Yeah, I don't want another thing to collect. It'd be nice if they just got rid of them, just because they're pointless, and I'd like them to basically at least admit blah 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 blah. I would like them to at least admit that they are as pointless as we all know they are. But yeah. Anyways, sorry, Ed. Ed's my buddy, so
yeah. Sorry, Ed. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Good question, though.
That was a good question. You stumped us on that one.
Yeah.
So let's see. Creative name asks,
let's go ahead and
what?
We should probably go ahead and move on to the. We can save the next question. We could probably go ahead and move on to the character spotlight.
There's
We're
only
about 2 hours in.
We are currently. Oh wait. We're an hour 46 in.
Yeah, we're almost about 2 hours in.
Yeah. Let's see. These
are
next
two
aren't too bad. These next two aren't too bad. So
all right, let's give one person answers each one.
Yeah. Okay. So creative name asks, I believe we have officially reached a point where you can't have it all. It's frustrating the competitive player base as the meta divides. For example, it's unlikely you can actively have a competitive Fury, Defenders, and Tech Squad at this moment. Adding Brotherhood will, in theory, further split the meta. While it can be frustrating if you back the wrong horse, don't you think it's better for the game? So I'll let you answer that one.
So he's saying, do I think it's better for the game that they are doing this?
That they are doing this, and that it's that you can't, that it's hard to field all four, right? Or even so, 3 of the 4, or maybe even 2. Is it better to focus on? Is it okay that you only have one of those teams?
So yes, I think it is okay. I think that's actually good. I don't think that if everyone has the same teams always, it's no fun. Like the fun part of the game, I suppose, and the also simultaneously most infuriating part of the game is whenever you bet on a horse and it's the right horse, right? So like you look at someone like Dorian, who invested, granted, if he invested in the rest of his defenders team as well, then it would have paid off more. But
right,
like let's just say he invested in all of his defenders, right? That guy ended up putting his weight behind the right horse, and he ended up coming out with a big victory. Right now we currently have this situation where we see, really, I think I'm trying to think. Okay, so Brotherhood isn't going to be as useful as universally useful as Fury or Defenders. Defenders and Fury are the top 2 right now. That's just universally good in all the modes. Granted that I don't know 100% on Brotherhood, but just speculative. I'm just thinking that it's not. Same thing with Kree. It's not going to be quite as good, but we'll have to see on that one. So I think that they're really between those two. I think that putting all of your weight behind one or the other is the smart choice. And I think that it is a good thing that not everyone has the same exact team, because as I said, it just gets boring. You want some diversity in what you see. And I wouldn't want to see all Fury teams right now. That's the problem with having such a big, obvious meta, is that you see so many people with all of the same teams, and it just gets very tiring. Yeah. So yeah, I like the fact that they do this. I don't like the fact that we have all of these. So if you look outside of the teams, we have all of these characters that are kind of homeless, right? That don't have these ridiculously strong synergies, and we have nothing for them. But we have such a big gold strangle that we're having to put everything that we have in behind one particular team, and that's not great. We should be able to invest in these teams as well as other things, but we're basically only being able to invest in one particular team for like the majority of our time playing. So that's kind of annoying. But yeah, I think overall, I probably restated myself like 50 times in very
It was
similar
only
ways.
48.
But
You're still good.
yeah, but anyways, so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop talking because that's just what it is.
Yeah, and I would have to say that I pretty much agree with you. I don't think I don't think it's problematic. I actually think that it's good, and I think that overall it's good for growth of the game. So
Yeah,
and then
diversity is
finally,
always good.
Flip Van asks,
Oh,
with the
Flip.
Juggernaut campaign needing mystics, what 5 would you recommend you? So I'm going to start with Thanos. I'm going to say Black Panther. I'm going to say Hand Sentry. I'm going to say Loki, and I'm going to say Yondu. I think that that's probably the 5 best mystics you're going to find out there. Um, boy, but if you went Loki, you could go Loki, Mordo, and Doctor Strange. With Scarlet Witch, she counts as a mystic, right? Hold on, let me jump in
Yeah,
here.
Scarlet Witch is a mystic.
Sort mystics. Um, let's see: Thanos, Iron Fist, Yondu, Doctor Strange, Mordo, Thor, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Hand Sentry, Elektra, Loki, Nobu, Ronan. Oh, you got to have Ronan. That's a kid. Boy, I like after the update. I really like Iron Fist. I think he does give uh some good damage, but he's gonna self heal. He's really not gonna help anybody else.
Yeah, that's the
Except
problem.
for
Outside of his
Black
team,
Panther.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you throw Black Panther out there, he should heal him, right? Hold on. Inner peace. Is it
He
just
heals
it's just
lowest
City
enemy.
Hero? Oh, it's only City Hero.
Yeah.
And there's no other City Hero Mystic. Oh, so yeah, I'd drop Iron Fist. So I would probably say, yeah, Thanos, Yondu, Black Panther, Hand Sentry, maybe, and probably
Loki.
Mordo. Um, yeah, Loki's in there. I mean, there's actually a couple of good Mystic teams you could probably run right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be flat out honest, because you think you get the Loki, the Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Mordo, and then throw a Hand Sentry on there. That's a pretty solid squad.
Yeah, I mean, these things are easy enough that you basically pick the most OP people that you have for Mystic, and you should be able to wipe it.
Yeah. So, Flip, there's that. Your most OP. Your most OP. By the way, I'm basically walking through the Miss Marvel hard with my defenders.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that was all our grab bag questions for the night. So we're going to move into the character spotlight now. And for this week, we did pick the Juggernaut. So Juggernaut, his real name is Kane Marco, is the son of Dr. Kurt Marco, who was an atomic researcher, and Marjorie Marco. Kane's parents separated and he was eventually sent to boarding schools, which he continued to get expelled from. Kane's mother died shortly after when he was only 3. Dr. Marco's wealthy colleague, Dr. Brian Xavier, another atomic researcher, died in an accident, and Dr. Marco eventually married his widow, Sharon Xavier, for her great wealth. On marrying Sharon, Dr. Marco moved into her mansion, and after yet another expulsion, Kane eventually moved in also. Dr. Marco favored his gentle, smart stepson, Charles Xavier, to his own son, which led to Kane bullying young Charles, and Dr. Marco secretly beating Kane for that reason. His first appearance was in X-Men number 12, July 1965. Strategy-wise, you're really just running him with Brotherhood. I'm not seeing anything in his kit that's going to make me go, oh, yeah, you definitely need to run him with this. What about you on that one, Hebrew?
I would agree with that. I don't think that there's, I thought that there would be a little bit more motivation to use him outside of his team. But now that I've seen his kit, I really think it's mostly you're going to be playing him inside Brotherhood. That's what I would recommend, at least as of right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also, I apologize. I do not have all the stats for his kit. Somebody else gave us a couple of things here. So his ultimate is Crushing Charge, which will attack the primary plus adjacent targets for 320% damage. There's plus 40% damage per charge. With the T4 ability mats, it's plus 60% primary and adjacent. in his ultimate or his passive is I'm the Juggernaut, and yeah, on his turn he gains charge up to a max of 4. On spawn, clear. Let's see. On spawn, clear all but one stack of charge and fill speed bar by 40% per charge cleared. Plus 5% max health, plus 5% resistance, plus 500% stun resistance. If Magneto is an ally, when an enemy attacks Juggernaut, he fills his speed bar by 10%. For T4, it's plus 5% resistance. If Mag is present, fill speed bar by 20% when Juggernaut is attacked. So Juggernaut definitely is. They did what they should have done, and the more he gets hit, the faster he's going to go, which is really really cool.
Yeah.
Because
did you do the primary and special as well or no?
So Chewie didn't send those.
Yeah, they're right above.
Were they? Were they right above my cuss? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I was wondering why you went straight to the ult.
Because I'm an idiot. It's like, so yeah. Hey, look, I'm an idiot, but at least I'm highly. That's a shout out to one. Let's see. So Juggernaut's primary ability at level 6, he attacks his primary target 250% damage. With an 80% chance to gain ability energy. He gains charge +1 to a max of 4. At the T4, he gets plus 40 damage and always gains ability. It cannot be blocked. And then his special is Immovable Object. He gains Taunt, which is a 2-turn taunt. So he's only the 3rd tank now with a 2-turn taunt. And
if Magneto's on board.
If Magneto is on the board. He gains defense up for 2 turns. He gains immunity, death proof, and 2 regen. So he's really a Luke Cage.
It always comes back to Luke Cage.
He gets immunity, but other than that, that's Luke Cage, man. But the difference is, this is what Luke Cage's taunt should have been, rather than being split up between his special and his ultimate.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is he gets defense up and for 2 turns on this ability as well.
Right. So this is better than Luke Cage's because he gets the taunt and the defense up at the same time, whereas Luke splits those up. So, but yeah, his defensive stats really look to be Luke Cage-ish, as far as his abilities go, I should say. So yeah, I mean, Brotherhood. Are you really gonna run him anywhere else?
Well, no, not really. I mean, his kit is good for the team comp that Brotherhood creates. I think that he's very interesting and he's an intricate character, and I like how they're utilizing his speed bar. And I think that it's an interesting way of how to go about basically making him the Juggernaut. And I like the fact that he does have that special ability where he just gets all of the buffs, basically. So yeah, they did a really good job of making him feel like Juggernaut, but it's outside of his team. I just really don't see him shining the way he would if he's in the team. Does that make any sense at all?
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
There's just not any other way that I can put it. I wouldn't really run him outside of a Brotherhood comp. But in a Brotherhood comp, he's gonna be great. He's just not he's not as spectacular. I'm a little disappointed because he's just not as spectacular as I thought he was going to be, and that's probably on me because
and so that's kind of the thing too. Is I wonder if our expectations are elevated because I feel like Venom got the same treatment of,
yeah,
wow, we really want him to be so awesome, and then he dropped it. They just like,
yeah. I mean, but the cool thing about both of those characters actually is that they had more unique, Juggernaut even more so. They had unique kits. They kind of introduced something new to the character, like this new charged move, where he gains charges and then he does more damage based on the charges, and then he also reuses any leftover charges to increase the speed bar. Like, I think that's cool. They haven't done it before, and I want more stuff like that. So they're heading the right direction. I like the whole granted they already had kind of a flip mechanic with Doctor Strange, but I like the ability to be able to do that with Venom. Like I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, I don't know. I like them experimenting with new stuff. I think that this was more in the direction of new stuff and new mechanics. So I'm for it. But yeah, it's just I think I overhyped it in my head a little bit, and he's definitely a good character, but he's not like God level or anything like that. So
Right.
But he's going to be really good in a team comp with them, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. So.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with everything that you just said. So, with that is our character spotlight for Juggernaut. Next week, we plan on doing the Pyro. So, come back for that one.
I'm really excited for him. He looks like a great character for sure.
He does look really good. I'll have an opportunity to do more math around. So, and figure out what his without having to rely on other people. And big shout out to Chewy for doing that math for us and providing the
while we were doing the show
information on that while we were doing the show notes, because I was unprepared this week. So with all that being said, Hebrew, we are at that point of the night where everybody wants to know who you farming, man.
So during this show, I think I just kind of gave up on getting Brotherhood beforehand. We'll see if it just kind of falls in my lap, but it's just not going to fall in my lap. I just don't want to spend the money on Pyro that I think I'm going to have to spend, at least the amount of money that I'm going to have to spend. I'm comfortable with how much I've spent so far, and I don't really want to kick it up to the notch that I think I'm going to have to do for Pyro, for basically a team that's going to be not underwhelming in the slightest bit, but not nearly as useful as teams like Fury and Defenders. This team's going to be great for one maybe two particular game modes, but for a lot of the other stuff, not as much. And I would argue that some of the other stuff is a little more important. Granted, if you want a whole bunch of cores, you are going to have to dominate the arena, but Fury is still going to do very well. So I don't know. Overall, it's just, I think it's inarguable that Fury is the best bet for as far as teams are concerned. So basically, back to my main point, I'm gonna keep farming Mystique every day for 50, and I'm not going to farm Storm every day for 50. I think I'm just gonna do her a casual, just her normal amount. Whatever, just do her node once and then call it a day. And then I'm going to keep going on my Kree, because I'm getting my Kree up to 6 stars. They're all at 4 or 5, mostly up to 5. I think I have one of them at 6. And I should, considering they haven't announced it coming super soon, I should be able to get them. I'm hoping I'll be able to get them up to 6. If I have to buy packs for them to get it to 6, I will. Hopefully not many, though. Luckily, they're minions, so they're not going to be expensive packs.
Ask Chewy how that went.
Well, yeah, that was whenever they were idiots and had that stupid-ass $100 pack. That was not his fault either.
No, it really wasn't. It really wasn't his fault. But I got to troll him a little bit at least.
But, yeah, and then I'm also farming Shield. I have them at, 4 or 5 stars just because I'm trying to get Kree up to 6 so I can just get my hands on Fury. But either way, it's gonna be good. I'm trying to do all of that. My Defenders team is already up pretty high. I'm casually farming JJ because she's the only one that's not at 6 or 7 stars right now. She's at 5, so I'm bringing her up a bit. But that's pretty much it for me. What about you?
So I'm still on Defenders. Because that grind takes forever when you got 2 people with just a single hard node. But I'm spending I'm buying the 150 core refreshes every day, up to 3. In fact, I just bought all 3 of mine to farm the Punisher and Iron Fist and JJ. So I got all 4 of those out of the way. But I was also able to do a few extras, such as I almost have Black Panther to tier 10, and so I'm also farming his node. I do Mystique, and I'll do her later today after my energy refreshes. But it's pretty much Defenders and City and Brawlers at this point. So Spider-Man, Black Panther, because my Miss Marvel is amazing, and I'm gonna really love this event and farm the heck out of it. So yeah, pretty much a lot of the same old for me. Now we were asked in chat, since I am now able to get into the game, if I got to do good rewards. I did. So
Yeah, there you go.
you're not going to be upset. I'm a little salty, but I mean it. I okay.
For getting the rewards,
So,
you're salty.
Oh, I'm sorry, your game was down for 8 hours.
I think that one was about something else, though, right? Or was it not?
No, so I got the Blitz. I got the Blitz stuff.
Okay.
Right, for the save squad.
Okay.
On top of that, I also got I want to say 1,000 Deadpool fragments and 120 Miss Marvel energy.
Okay, then yeah, that's fine. So like that's what I was saying. Like if it was just something like that, then I'm totally fine with that. If they were going to give you an absurd amount of stuff because of a worst case scenario, if you missed every single thing, you know, they basically optimized the worst case scenario and they gave you a ridiculous amount that, you know, most of us wouldn't have gotten either, then I would have been willing to be like, hey, throw a little something my way too to even it out, maybe.
Well, do me a favor, check your game.
I'm in the game.
Okay, restart your game.
Okay.
Because Flip just said in chat that he thinks they got it too, and I think he's an iOS person.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see if iOS also got those because that's not cool, man. Especially because those are not the best rewards on the planet.
No, they aren't. I think that's I would have been fine with them giving a little bit more even. I don't see anything in my inbox.
Okay. Yeah, keep an eye on that. We'll see if iOS people get that as well. So I think with that, we have pretty much covered everything for this evening. Is there anything that you can think of that we missed?
No, that pretty much does it for me.
All right. Excellent. And yes, okay, sorry. I got back into my game. Now I'm trying to catch up on my Deadpool.
Yeah, I knew you were distracted doing something else right there.
Yeah, so give me 1 second here. I just got to kill Thor and then I'll be
here. Oh, you're actually playing right now.
Deadpool, man, we got 12 hours and I have to clear my lane, right?
You have 12 hours. I mean, yeah, is it actually at 12 hours right now, or is it?
No, it is currently at 7 hours 52 minutes.
Okay, yeah, you got time.
So I had to run at least one or two, so that way I could get my energy refresh going. So all right, I put the game down.
There we go.
You know what? The game is so addictive. Even when I do the show, I can't help it.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank everybody that stayed with us and listened live tonight. It's been a pleasure as always. If you'd like to leave us comments, questions, feedback, you can always join us on our Discord at discord.me/Ravager Report. If you want to email us, you can do so at theravagerreport@gmail.com. If you do like what you hear and would like to support our show, you can do so at Patreon at patreon.com/Ravager Report. You can follow us on Twitter at Ravager Repo. That's at Ravager REPO. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we got for the night, Hebrew. So is there anything I missed?
No, that's pretty much it. I just also want to echo everything that you said as far as our patrons. Thank you guys very much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for everyone that was listening in live. We really appreciate you guys sticking around too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. So until next week, keep fighting, true believers.